cards, you want to give me your cards, I'll make sure that we take your cards. Thank you. And any of you guys do business up in San Francisco?
Oh, you might want to leave some here.
Oh,
The other guys can.
no, is this your card you're giving me?
There's no parking.
Oh. I had left some cards here for people to grab. You're leaving cards out so people can grab your card. Oh, yeah. I see. Good cross marketing. You don't know me, but now you know me. That's a good way to cross market. So, what's your company from?
Glendale.
Glendale. You do a lot of work in LA also?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a huge market down here.
Yeah, we have our big
Yeah. Well, just, you guys are one of the few that has a system that, that whole inspection process. No other state that I'm aware of has this process.
Not other city, because only in LA they check the fire escapes.
No, they check all I have, in San Francisco, there's a 1 year and a 5 year in San Francisco.
The Reg 4.
Here.
Reg 4.
No, as far as other cities surrounding LA, they don't, no.
Yeah.
San Diego doesn't have the system, they kind of rely.
Right.
But now, because of the 2017 law, it is now being it's not being forced. The owners have to know this stuff, and whether or not they get told to do one, they have to do one. Because if you get hurt for any reason, you're liable when you own property. You're liable on what you know and even what you don't know. You're liable on what you have, and you're liable for even what you didn't know you had in the basement. So if somebody's storing barrels in your basement full of plutonium,
Yes,
and you bought the building,
it's yours.
you own it. So, and again, that's the thing about the class. The class is going to be two parts. The first 2 hours is Reg 4. We'll put up one of the checklists. We'll talk about Reg 4 annuals. Then we'll talk about the 5 years, and the second half hour. I'm sorry, the next 2 hours. So 9 to 11 is Reg 4. Hopefully we'll beat up on John Novella. Everybody will get a chance. There's a room over there that we all take for John Novella inside. And ask him the right questions.
We get the right answer.
We get the right answers from him. And then from there we're gonna go into from 9 to 11. I'm sorry, 9 to 11 is a Reg 4. 11 to 1 is gonna be 5-year inspections. If you want to get into that, what's involved? What kind of insurance you need to get into the structural adequacy of a fire escape, okay? Then at 1 o'clock there'll be some box lunches over here. And so from 1 to 3, so it's a working lunch. If some of you are going to have to leave or want to leave by 1 o'clock, it's fine, you just get the first 2 parts. Then from 1 to 3, it's all about liability, insurance. We'll watch some videos. It's really concentrated. I'll show you videos of inspections I've done in Los Angeles already. And some other classes I've taught down here. We'll show you some San Francisco, because this is a work from here to San Francisco. No, but it's the same rule. So Reg 4 is a 1 year only. San Francisco has had a 1 year and a 5 year forever for 25 years, and they have plenty of standbys. But it all depends. It's all about marketing and where you're trying to expand. But don't forget, you also have Texas, San Diego. We also have Chicago. You also have Portland, Oregon. You also have Seattle. These are all places. I'm out of Boston. I work from Maine to Florida, Chicago to Texas, and from Seattle to San Diego.
How much you charge for testing Seattle?
Well, the biggest cost really is on the Learjet that flies me around everywhere. I'm poor just like you guys. I'm idea rich, but I'm cash poor, so that's why we're all here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I could get paid for my ideas, I'd be a billionaire. But right now, what's it called? I have a new terminology. Are you a person? Are you inspirational? Or are you perspirational? You know what I'm saying? And so the biggest problem with millennials, they're very visionary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's inspirational. They have these ideas that just come out of their head that have no back end. So ideas are pretty simple. It's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. And And that's what you guys are doing here in this class. Because to connect the dots, you gotta get up and connect the dots. You know, the millennials seem to believe that the dots connect themselves, and they don't. You know what I'm saying? So, are you inspirational or are you perspirational?
What's that?
And that's all you have to tell your people as they come in,
No, it's the same.
and they say, hey, I'm gonna, you're like, you can easily at the end of at the end of a week, 3 weeks, or a month, the guy works said, listen, you're more inspirational than you are perspirational, and that is
I'm
that.
an architect.
You talk more than you do.
When I do their inspections.
So go please help somebody else with a beautiful story, and just become an artist and paint pictures.
They do.
Because right now, it's very dark in the room. You're painting in the dark, and I don't understand what you're doing.
Full service.
Really? So I call this number and,
Yeah.
okay, good. That's the problem, nobody doing cares.
Well, you know,
I am a winter.
You know, and that's, I think I have, I think we've talked, and that's the thing, it's like you don't know where to go, you know. Not everybody does this kind of thing.
I know, it's like
They'll,
nobody.
you know, they'll either repair them or they'll direct you to people that can repair them.
That's good.
Yeah.
Usually they hire some welder and some
Well, you
fix
can't,
it.
you're not supposed to weld, so you
I
can't
know.
certify those walls unless you x-ray them or test them.
No, then
And we're always suggesting or weld it. Any welds that we see, tell them to bolt it. You know, so it's that too, we see them, Cisco calls them the welding witch doctors come in and just weld them, and there's, and they won't fix the rust in them, so the rust will still grow.
This is
so this number I call.
something for you guys to look at. Yeah, when you call, I'll go into a little bit more, but you call, make an appointment, say, listen, I want you to go look at this farscape for us. So we can do the 5 years, because we have all the proper
He's
insurance.
also talking about repairs as well.
Yeah, we do repairs, we're full service, yeah.
Okay, good.
So guys, this is not to eat, so, but everybody, you know, pass it around. What I'll do is I'll actually split it up into 2 ways. So, this is the, you guys can look at this one and just change, but this is what 5 years look like. You can touch it, grab it, you know, look at it.
Yeah, so many, usually the capital rate for.
Yeah? Yeah, let me do this, I'll pull this off for you. Thank you. So you can-
So we always just,
I put it in my bags. They all, usually when what do you call it? When I get back home or whatever, there's usually you know, one of those things. But this is the kind of stuff you want to look at. Feel free to touch it, you know. The only way you're going to learn it is when you touch it. Marco. En momento, cuando estamos falando. Só entrar.
He's passing chocolate.
Gravando. Só depois pode ligar. Pode já. Ja, pelo desliga por si. Você não tá falando, você tá falando. Alright, so you guys see, the one thing that a lot of times you're not gonna understand is, that's what it looks like in between.
Oh, thank you.
You step on that. But yet, when you look at some of your jobs, you know, the bolt looks good, the head looks good, the nut looks good. And so sometimes you're looking at this, but you're not looking at that. And a lot of people don't know that this 1/4 inch of rust, you leave it alone. In 50 years, it'll make 1 inch. So 1/4 inch makes 1 inch of
We
rust.
also did down at Harvard.
Okay. So your reg 4 is assuming that you know how to see this stuff, and you don't. You're a tester, you're not an inspector. So you're testing what people will do when they use this farscape. And you're testing what firemen will do to use this person.
Nobody gonna,
Okay, you know.
you can't tell the owner when they build here to do fire test if you don't have the report.
Yeah, but it's a state law now.
Okay, we need to tell Novella to check.
No, he does, he knows. It's already, it came out in January 2017. The 5 years required. But even if Reg 4 never puts it on their thing, it's required.
Yeah.
So it's already on the books.
Or what we test is if the ladder belongs or not. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna cover that. So this is some of the stuff. This is the rust pieces. So this is the kind of stuff that you wanna, well, they use inspecting a ladder
Banging on
and
it.
then not looking for this and saying the ladder's okay, and they think you said this is okay too. And as soon as somebody steps on this, you're in a lawsuit.
Yeah, they say, yeah, I know.
And I'm just kind of saying,
Well, no, one of the things we're gonna do is when we cover this, the checkbox, assume there's a 5-year. Then inspect with a 1-year. We're doing it backwards. They've never done a 5-year, and the 1 years is what they've been doing for 50 years. So it's natural for the 1 years to cover the 5 years by mistake. So feel free to touch it and grab.
100 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it only takes 25 years to grow a 1/4 inch. It doesn't take long. Everybody thinks you need 100 years to grow. No, some of this rust, yeah, some of this rust will form. But the key about this is when your guy goes to inspect the 1 year, he sees the guy painted it black. What's he see? Nothing. But a 5-year inspector doesn't look at black paint. He looks at other things to say, hey, there's other things going. Because I can paint this black, very nice, and you'll never see this. But an inspector, a 5-year inspector knows what, it's not natural. This is not tight. This is a tread. This is a typical tread.
I'm actually going to LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but your guys don't look for those things. And I did some inspections, and I'm going to show you copies. I'm going to show you a brand new November 2018 inspection, certified, on a building in Culver City. And I did an inspection, and I've got rust everywhere. And I'm just going to show you the amount of liability your guy that you sent out just took on for your company. So feel free to touch it. And we're gonna start the piece in a little bit. So did you guys get a chance to see? The most important thing that you guys have to remember is that a 1/4 inch of steel will make 1 inch of rust.
Mr. Novella.
Hey, John? In 50 years. You have to leave this alone for 50 years to make 1 inch of rust. So that means if you wanna see a 1/4 inch of rust, it takes on average about 25 years for it to grow.
Change the report for the.
If you let it go for 50 years, it'll make anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rust. So it takes steel
We'll see, we'll find out.
to make the rust grow. And it doesn't mean just from one side, it means from both sides. And a lot of times on the inside, when you have rust,
Inspector.
we have a lottery going on, John, to see who starts beating up on you first. And
That's all right.
we got one guy here that's got your name already on the.
I'm married with
So this is what happens when you have a piece of rust in between the two. So the nut still looks good, the head still looks good, so your guy says, so, and there's a 1/4 inch of rust, and when somebody steps on it, because there's nothing in between. What's in between these things? So that's what sits inside. You let that rust do its job. It eats the inside. Look at the outside, nice and fat, 3/8. Look at the nut still there, 3/8. But look what's inside. Nothing. And if you step on it, you know. So when you guys are doing a test, an assemblies tester, guess who you're representing? You're representing a tenant who's leaving the building. That's why you have to check the windows, you have to check the doors, you have to release the mechanism and drop it. Right. But now you also represent somebody else, you represent a fireman too. Guess what you guys are supposed to be doing when you're testing in assemblies? You're supposed to go up and over the roof, onto the roof, climb over the ladder, come down the ladder, then go down all the stairs and then release, because the fireman will do the same thing. So you're a tester, you create a representation. So now, some of you are like, I'm not gonna climb up on a ladder, go up on the roof, and that's okay. You go up to the roof, check all the gooseneck connections, make sure they're good. Then you go downstairs to the top floor, come out that floor, then look up the ladder. So if you're afraid to go up and over the ladder, and we recommend a lot of times, you wear a harness. Because you know, there's no protection. These ladders are not for you, these ladders are for firemen. Nobody in the building goes up to the roof. Only firemen. So when the fireman goes up, he's up 50, 75 feet, and all of a sudden that ladder gives way in any way.
No way to do, that's good to the
Screw. So that's the main reason that we have, you know, these classes is to teach you just, you know, there's 3 steps to inspecting. There's the annuals, there's the 5-year, okay? And we're gonna make you feel comfortable because as soon as we start talking about the 5-year, imagine every fire escape you're gonna look at tomorrow already had a 5-year from last year. Every single one, if this is the fire escape, every single one was approved 5 years ago. So 1 year later, they're gonna tell you to come look at this thing. That 5 years ago, an architect checked all the connections, checked all the welds, checked everything. Looked inside, looked upside down. He turned this whole thing, he sat in it, he load tested it, he rested on it. 1 year later, you're doing an annual. Guess what you do? You look at it, see, it's painted. Does it look like it has any damage? You sit on it, like anybody would sit on it. Held you. Looks good. There's no rips. Right for annual done. Same chair, but a bent leg. Something happened, you know, it fell. Somebody dropped it. So same 5-year inspection. A year later, after a 5-year, you come there and she's, you know, she's leaned over. She got a bent leg. You continue on with you 1 year? Nope. She's painted? Yep. She's structurally sound? Nope. What's it need? Another 5-year. All because of one leg? Because one truck hit a ladder or one tree hit the fire escape? Yep. Needs another 5 years. You don't touch it. You get your money, you get your inspection fee. But you just triggered a 5-year because as soon as they say the word structural, whose job is it? 5-year. It's not you. You're a tester. I'm going to tell you about this fire escape. I'm an inspector. Design professionals, architects, or others acceptable to the building official. So testers test, inspectors inspect. But if you can imagine 5 years going through, I'm not 5 years, 50 years gone through, never a 5-year in the state of California. There's never been a requirement to do a 5-year. Other than in San Francisco, and it's kind of almost pushed upon them, but they have the 604 and the 908. But that was a city thing. You go to Oakland, nothing. You go to Berkeley, you know, San Jose, nothing. So some cities have, so that's what LA has. All right? Now that the guest of honor has arrived, I don't know if you guys want to start. Let me see what the time is. 9:05.
We can start.
So, John, you know what I'd like to do is, if you want to come up before I start the show, just, I'm going to make this very interactive with everybody, because everybody has a lot of questions. And whenever you guys ask a question and it's like, hey, if I can answer it as a Reg 4, I'll answer it as a Reg 4. If I have to, if it's an answer that needs a design professional, we got Alan here to answer it. If it's a code question, what's the city want? We all want to thank John for coming here because this is a great opportunity for us to do that. Now, we're also recording it and in various ways, and this will be up on our website, the nationalfirescapeassociation.org, this whole class. So if some of you people didn't make the class, you can just watch the video. And that way, but you can still call John.
Anytime, that's
All right, and I know one guy has his personal cell phone number, knows his address, you know.
Yeah.
So John, you want to say a few
Yeah,
things?
sure.
You want to open it up?
Yeah, good morning. Pleasure to be here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be here all day. I got a few different projects, but I'll hang out for a couple hours. John Avella, I work directly for the Fire Marshal in the research unit. About 2 years ago, I was asked to take over the Reg 4 program, so I know a lot of you guys, a lot of your faces. Bad part, like I always tell everybody, I do this as a part-time gig. I got tons of other projects that I do. But really was the one person who volunteered, and I said, yeah, I'll take this on. It's a big job. It's a huge job. I expected to learn 18 fire protection systems just like that. So when I took over, I hit the treadmill run, you can imagine. So, but I've been inspector for about 11 years, been on the job for 36, firefighter paramedic. I'm still a firefighter paramedic, and I enjoy it. So I learn a lot from all the testers. So pleasure to be here. Fire escapes are big. You know, as firefighters, I've been a lot of them. We try not to use them, but we constantly throw ladders to them all the time. One of the first things we do is the truck company will throw ladders, not only for us, but for people coming in. So interested in watching this presentation and see what the code says about the testing process and the way Reg 4 does it. So, any questions? You guys all have my numbers? You got my cell number.
Listen, some room.
Cell numbers.
If you guys all, if you want, there's plenty of room, but you guys have plenty, there's extra room here, there's extra room there. And throughout the time, please, go refresh your copy. We got 6 hours here, so I expect to see you guys.
No,
If you need to use the bathroom,
Last
there's,
resort.
the bathrooms are locked, so there's this key. And all you have to do is just touch the key to the door, then put the key back here, and the bathroom's right behind here, right behind this place. So, we're about to start, so if anybody wants to, this is when I say refresh your coffees and refresh your drinks, go grab something right now. And that way, as we start talking, but during the time, if you want to get up and grab some more coffee, juice, tea, and sweets, so let's do that now, and I'll get this thing started with you guys right now, so. Unless you're all just all coffeeed up already. And but feel free, there's extra seats on this side if you guys are, you know, if you want to sit on a table, there's plenty of extra seats. And both these monitors are going to do the same exact thing, okay? All right, so just give me a second and I'll have my case. So, yeah. Sure, yeah. Yeah, there you go. And then to preserve the battery, and then if you have to change the battery out. Yeah, it's on here.
I got Russell.
Okay. Now he'll be monitoring over there. Just want to make sure the cameras are recording correctly.
Yeah, we can.
Bem bem, deixa ainda está ligado.
Deixa muito perto,
Ok.
senão pega.
Okay. As long you want that simply.
No.
All right. All right. So guys, you guys got the book there, right? So Alan, give me one of the books. So let's talk about what's inside the book and what you can use. Now this is done nationally, so some of this applies to you, some of this doesn't apply to you, but overall, the rules are all the same for everybody across the country. So there's no special rules here and special different rules in California. Some of you may have a confidence test inside this. So John, that's the, here's the full. Yeah, that's the thinner one, Alan will get you.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you have the thinner book, just let's,
That's the one. Yeah, I thought I did check all of
yes,
this.
see if there's other things in the text.
Anybody else need it? What's the bigger writing, right, Costco?
Yeah, it's the one that's the thicker book that has,
Anybody else need one?
and then Alan, if you want to just collect the rest of them that are not there. So if you have, because some of them are, when I do a class, this is just the thumbnail slides of the slide. So some of them are like 1 to 2 hour classes. So this is 6 hours, so there's plenty here. So let's talk about, you know, what's inside the book. I'm not going to stay too deep into these books, but a lot of it is covered on the slides. So if you're going to inspect fire escapes, you're going to repair fire escapes, you're going to paint fire escapes, it's very simple. Who can inspect fire escapes? Okay, so we got Reg 4 now. Who can inspect fire escapes? The code is very clear. Design professionals or others acceptable to the building official. So if all of a sudden, Reg 4 right now, you should have an annual license. If he wants to constitute a 5-year license, you guys will be considered another. Right now, you're not another. Right now, you have to hire an architect or an engineer or an other, somebody who's been trained in certain, through, for example, the National Fire Escape Association. If the city accepts you, so you might have LA accept you, but then Culver City say, no, we don't accept others. We want only engineers. So just remember, we're basically gonna tell you who you can use. So if you need to have a fire escape inspection done, you need to hire a design professional or another. So that means any architect, any engineer you know that understands fire escapes, you can have them do the 5 years,
So
yes.
I just got a question. So when you say building official, that's like international codes?
Well, it's the authority having jurisdiction shall accept by load test or other evidence of strength. That's the NFPA. In the IBC, the IFC, it says it's the
Fire code.
well, the fire code accepts a design professional or others acceptable to the building official,
Fire official.
fire official. And then the building code, it says the exact same thing. Well, it shows on both codes. The building official can accept design professional or others acceptable to him. And sometimes in the others, which I'll cover in the coverage here, the other can also be overseen by a design professional. So it's a murky water, but at the same time, you have to know what you're doing on this.